Have you ever felt like you're constantly giving, always there for others, yet somehow you're left feeling drained, unappreciated, or even taken for granted? There's an old saying, "Don't set yourself on fire to keep others warm." It's a reminder that kindness should never come at the cost of your own well-being. But in today's world, we're often encouraged to push ourselves beyond our limits, to always be available, to give endlessly. But at what cost? When kindness leads to exhaustion, when generosity leaves you empty, it's no longer a virtue, it's self-destruction. Stoicism, the ancient philosophy of resilience and balance, offers a different approach, a way to be generous without losing yourself, a way to help others while maintaining your own strength. In this video, we'll explore how Stoic wisdom can help you set healthy boundaries, ensuring your kindness remains a source of strength, not depletion. We'll uncover how to give without feeling used, how to love without losing yourself, and how to support others while still prioritizing your own needs. Let's begin. 1. Don't burn yourself out for others. Imagine always saying yes to every request, always being there for everyone. At first it feels good. You're helpful, reliable, appreciated. But over time, you notice something. You're exhausted. Your own needs are pushed aside. And when you finally need support, you find yourself standing alone. This isn't just about being kind, it's about being kind to yourself too. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic emperor, understood this well. He believed that our first duty is to maintain our own well-being. Without that, we can't truly help others. Think of it like a garden. One gardener carefully nurtures their own space, ensuring it's healthy and full of life. Another gardener, in an effort to help everyone else, spends all their time tending to others' gardens, only to find their own has withered. The lesson? If you neglect yourself, you have nothing left to give. So before saying yes to every request, ask yourself, is this sustainable? Am I taking care of my own well-being? Stoicism teaches us that true kindness isn't about sacrificing yourself. It's about finding balance. Second, kindness shouldn't come with expectations. Generosity is a beautiful thing, but expecting something in return, that can lead to disappointment. Life doesn't always repay kindness the way we hope. People forget, they move on. And if our giving is tied to the expectation of receiving, we set ourselves up for frustration. Epictetus, another Stoic philosopher, said, "Some things are within our control, and some are not. The gratitude of others? That's not in our control. But our choice to give, that is. Think of kindness like planting a tree. You water it, care for it, but storms may come, seasons may change, and its growth is unpredictable. The joy should come from the act itself, not from expecting a reward. So, give freely, but wisely. Protect your peace by recognizing that true generosity isn't transactional. It's a reflection of who you are, not what you hope to receive. 3. People's requests. Have no limits. Set boundaries. Have you noticed that when you keep saying yes, people keep asking for more? Throughout history, rulers had servants for the simplest tasks, expecting every need to be met. And while we don't live in castles today, the pattern remains. Some people will rely on you simply because you allow them to. Stoicism teaches us to be mindful of this. Helping others is noble, but too much support can actually prevent them from growing. Take, for example, a mother who always does everything for her adult daughter. She means well, but by doing so, she unknowingly keeps her daughter dependent. Only when the mother is no longer around does the daughter learn to stand on her own. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, a man's job is to stand upright, not to be kept upright by others. That means true kindness isn't about carrying others. It's about helping them stand on their own. So next time someone asks for a favor, ask yourself, am I actually helping them or just making them dependent? Set limits. Teach people to be responsible. Because sometimes, the greatest act of kindness is stepping back. 4. The more you give, the less you're respected. Ironically, being too kind can lead people to see you as weak. When you never say no, when you're always available, you stop being appreciated and start being expected. And when you finally set a boundary, people get upset, not because you're wrong, but because they've grown used to taking from you without limits. Cicero, a Stoic thinker, once said, "What you think of yourself is more important than what others think of you." So, respect yourself. If someone only values you for what you do for them, rather than for who you are, that's not a real connection. It's an arrangement. Setting boundaries doesn't mean you're unkind. It means you respect yourself enough to ensure your kindness is valued, not exploited. How to protect yourself from being used. Now, let's talk about practical ways to apply these Stoic principles in your life. 1. Learn to say no without guilt. Many of us were raised to believe that saying no is selfish, that we must always be helpful, always be agreeable. But this belief often leads to burnout. Stoicism teaches us that we are not obligated to meet everyone's expectations. Saying no isn't rejection, it's self-care. Start small. Decline a request that feels overwhelming. Observe how it feels. You'll realize the world doesn't end, and you'll gain confidence in prioritizing yourself. 2. Pay attention to your feelings. Stoicism encourages us to be aware of our emotions. Does helping someone make you feel fulfilled? Or do you feel drained and resentful? If kindness is leaving you exhausted, it's a sign you need to step back. True generosity should uplift, not deplete. 3. Make yourself a priority. You can't pour from an empty cup. If you neglect yourself, everything else suffers. Your energy, your relationships, your peace of mind. Make time for self-care. Rest, recharge, do things that bring you joy. A strong, well-rested you is far more capable of helping others than an exhausted, burned-out version of yourself. 4. Recognize the takers. Some people take and take, never giving in return. They thrive on your generosity but disappear when you need them. Stoicism teaches us to recognize these one-sided relationships. If someone only reaches out when they need something, it may be time to reconsider how much you give. True relationships are based on mutual care, not endless giving on one side. Final thoughts. Stoicism isn't about being selfish, it's about balance. Give, but not at the cost of yourself. Help, but don't enable dependence. Be kind, but also be kind to yourself. When you set boundaries, you'll find that the right people will respect you more, not less. Which of these Stoic lessons resonated with you the most? Let us know in the comments. And if this message spoke to you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let's continue this journey together toward wisdom, strength, and true fulfillment.